Welcome or welcome back yet again, everybody. It's my third crack at trying this tonight, and it seems everything is magically working now. We are here yet again for the second round of the F3 Open Wheel Championship with Plebian Racing. It's the fourth season of the Small Wheels Championship. We are at beautiful fictional Dragon Tail from Gran Turismo, ported to Assetto Corsa. We're going to jump in here to the last minute and a half of qualifying, and it's been a good session. We've got Luke Baumeister at the top of the charts, sitting on a 127.2. Peter O'Brien just behind with a 127.5, and Carson Schultz third with a 127.7, so very close times. Jeffrey Bray 128.1 just behind. We'll give everybody a quick rundown of the standings in the championship again, in case the previous stream didn't work. Peter O'Brien leads the standings with 28 points. He is 6 points ahead of Carson Schultz, who has 22. DJ Harris at the bottom of the timing chart right now, but he's third in the championship with 14 points. Oh, big lockup there. James Leader is fourth in the points in the camel car. He is tied right now with Jeffrey Bray, and they are very close on the timing table. That'll shake out interestingly. Luke Baumeister currently back on pole with 10 points, sits sixth in the championship, and his apparent teammate today, let's get a look at Luke, and his teammate today will be Dave Martin, our fearless leader at Plebian in the 24. He has 9 points, one back. Let's see, we have Ramiro Perez in 8th place with 7 points. Smoke, who has not rejoined the server lately. He's in 6 points. He's in 9th with 6 points. Jake Foucher in 10th in the standings with 4 points. So all up for grabs tonight. We're gonna see what happens here. Qualifying appears to be over. Peter O'Brien's still going for it. Oh, that looked sped up. He's got traffic, but that might give him just a little bit of a draft. Who's helping him out here? That's JP May, who's unfortunately the slowest car on track and has wiggled in front of Peter. He now relinquishes the track position. Peter now going around trying to beat that 127.2, leaping over the curbs. That's not going to do it. Going through the tunnel. We'll ride along as he heads into a tight section of the course. And up towards the front straight. I don't think that's going to do it for him. Nope, he'll stand pat on the 127.5, so Luke Baumeister takes the pole. And we have the top two in the championship just behind him. With really the top 3 or 4 in the championship now lined up behind. So very close qualifying. You can see the times, the top 4 within a second of each other. Very tough to maneuver the car around here and keep it on the track. 2 20-minute races, of course, reverse grid for the second race. But it'll be interesting. There's no planned pit stops, but there could be some unplanned pit stops if folks send it into the wall and have to repair that bodywork. So it looks like we're just wrapping out now. Dave Martin's still on track trying to set a lap. He comes to the line and does not better his position. He will remain 100th ahead of Morales and 2700ths behind Foucher. It's good we have the stream working. Hope everybody is enjoying their Wednesday, 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 evening, or perhaps Thursday morning if you're east of us. And now we have a slight wait before the start of the session. We are, of course, in the broadcast van. Let's see if we... Well, I don't want to rock the boat here. Normally, this is the point where we interview people, but I almost don't want to rock the boat on where we are right now in making this thing run right. So I'm going to go down the order here. Luke with the pole, Peter second, Carson third, Jeffrey Bray fourth, Madan Growal in fifth, James Leader sixth, with Lion Radial in seventh, Ramiro, Jake, and Dave rounding out the top 10. Then Omar Morales, Corey Robbins, DJ Harris, Seth Walter, Yojit Chima, JP May, and I am not competing this evening in the transit van. Smoke has not rejoined, nor has Penguin. Some other folks who were here earlier tonight not able to rejoin the server for some reason. But we are about to hop onto the grid in about 10 seconds. 2 20-minute races. The tires should hold out if everybody rides on the hard compound. And here we go. We are now gridding. I'm going to warp myself to the pits. Good times. And there we go. Let's see. Let's try to get a good view of the start here. That'll do. So Luke on pole. It'll be interesting to see what happens as we go into turn 1. Hopefully nothing terrible. Always happy to do it. The lights are coming on. It's race 1 start. Here we go. 6 lights on. 6 lights off, and away we go. Green flag, and we're racing. Luke out to a lead. Peter trying to go for it into turn 1. Oh, wide gaggle behind. Oh, Corey. Oh, brakes a little bit late and goes into the back of Luke and Peter, and it's a shuffle. Lots of chaos and probably some body damage on some of those cars. That was unfortunate. We'll have to review that one in the replay. But, oops, a little touch there between Morales and Bowmeister. That sends, I think that's JP May going around as well. Oh, boy. Well, it's an open-wheel race in Assetto Corsa. I was hoping it was going to be a little bit less chaotic than that, but it looks like some folks have suffered some damage early on. And we are restarting the race. I think that's a wise decision, everybody. I think that's a very wise call from the marshals. I'm going to warp myself to the pits again here. And let's get back into a race. That was very unfortunate. And we're going to give this another try. I think that's a good call from the officials. Emotional damage. Welcome to the stream, everybody. I'm just glad this thing is working. I was dropping frames left and right. I can't actually see YouTube chat, so viewers on YouTube, thank you for joining us there as well. Sorry I can't see your chat, but you are no less important. Let's try this again. Race 1 starting. We got the 6 lights coming on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we're off again on what is absolutely the first try at getting this race running. Luke Bowmeister out to a lead. Peter O'Brien again looking up the inside. Carson also following Luke through. A much cleaner start this time. We're going to look back through the field wide. 3 wide into the next corner. Oh, and the pink car there. Wasn't sure who that... Oh, Carson goes around. Still got some chaos going through the field. Leader sent off. Can't tell who that pink car is in the back. Is that... Nope, it's not... Well, oh, no. Oh, they're still crashing. They're still crashing. They're still crashing. Well, it's fewer deaths, but... oh, that was Grewal. Madan Grewal in the number 15, who I think may have perpetrated that one. But not sure if we're restarting again, but here we go. Until then, we're going to call it like we see it. Luke out to a second lead over O'Brien. Martin has lived to see another lap, but he is just under 3 seconds behind. Lion the Red Eel has made it through, hopping over the curbs in the number 70. Oh, and who is this slowing? Dave Martin seems to have bounced a little bit too hard through the chicane. Either that or he's reaching for the restart button another time. We'll see what happens here. Luke. Oh, Luke has lost it. Coming onto the front straight. That gives Peter O'Brien the lead, and we've restarted again. Alrighty. Good times. I'll send the camera van to the pits again. Third time's the charm, right? Here we go. Absolutely our first try at getting this race running. I mean, open wheel. There's a reason that only professional drives these in real life. We're gonna give this another shot. We are indeed the plebeians, and we do our best. We do our best. This does not seem to be the same running order. We're going to get the race one start in here somehow. Lights coming on. And away we go. Oh, and Luke misses the start. Oh, and Corey drives into the back of him. Oh, what a disaster for Luke. Caught sleeping. Peter O'Brien jumping out to a lead. Jeffrey Bray follows in the other Red Bull car. We have Grewal surviving side by side with leader. Little bit of contact, but not enough to kill either car. We've got the two gray Red Bulls, not Red Bulls, but Vodafone cars, I believe, of Bouwmeester and Martin, trying to make their way back up through the field. O'Brien out to a second lead over Bray now, with leader just behind. We've got two wide in the back. Bouwmeester trying to get around Lion the Red Eel. Dave Martin trying to follow through, but Lion the Red Eel very slow through the S's. Maybe recovering from some damage or just some suddenly filled pants after surviving those incidents. Leader now through around the outside of Bray to take second. 2 by 2 they go on this first lap, but surviving this time. Bouwmeester already back past Grewal for fourth place. It's all to play for now. Everybody seems to have lived. But I want to say we have fewer cars on track than we did the first couple of times we tried to start, but it's all working out. Bray losing out in this battle as well. Not sure if he had some wing damage from the melee earlier on in the race. Yes, he's coming into the pits. He's going to have to get a repair. That is unfortunate for Jeffrey Bray, who is tied for fourth in the points with James Leader, who is maintaining second place within sight of Peter O'Brien, who is running away, trying to survive this race. Grewal back. Oh, and Bouwmeester is off. Bouwmeester is off and has warped out. Oh, no. The casualties continue. Grewal now up to third. Dave Martin fourth with Lion the Red Eel pursuing in fifth, just about a second back. Corey Robbins falling off again. Oh no, going around. Oh, it's sector 2 and just barely missed by Seth Walter. These cars very hard to handle, especially on cold tires and around this very tricky, twisty track. A lot of blind corners, some weirdly textured curbs. It's going to be a challenge just to survive the 20 minutes as our leader, Peter O'Brien, spinning through the air over the head of James Leader, who is now the leader of the race. outright. O'Brien suffering major damage there. Can't imagine that car is in very good shape. He's just waiting for some clear track to spin it back around. Leader is now your leader. With Grewal and now Martin promoted to a podium spot just by not stuffing it into a wall. Lion the Red Eel up to 4th. Carson Schultz now, after being involved in the lap 1 melee, now finds himself all the way back up to 5th place. Yoji Chima up to 6th. JP May, don't call me James May, in 7th. Morales losing out in a battle here right now with DJ Harris and Jake Foucher. Perez now, let's watch this from Perez's car as he sees the 3 in front. Looks like Harris may be dealing with a little bit of lag, or maybe that's me, I don't know. Somebody pulling aside there, trying to let this battle through. That would be Chima. Oh, that's interesting. He was in the lead of this battle, and now he's pulled aside. Is he in the grass? He's in the grass. He's going to rejoin. Ooh, and he's pitted. Chima resetting there. Not sure what befell him. Maybe he had some damage and couldn't maintain the car, but now he has been set back. He's going to lose a lap there. Foucher and Morales, it looks like, sliding wide into the wall. That's going to give an opportunity to Perez, who's going to want to get through there for 9th. Oh, and Morales looks like he's warped. Oh, Morales having some transmission issues of the network variety. Don't know anything about that tonight. Perez looking to go around the outside of a Blinky Morales. Let's see if they can make this move stick. Oh, very close to that beautiful copper and gray car. Sponsored by Oil Company. I like that. Very cool custom liveries again for this season. Guys at Plebian always doing a great job with that. Here's on board with James Leader, just trying to run away now with the race. Surviving the damage from earlier. He's now 2.2 seconds ahead of Madan Grewal in 2nd, who is just over 3 seconds ahead of Dave Martin, who now finds himself on the podium, now running away from Lion the Red Eel, who is being chased now by Carson Schultz, who has something to prove about getting back to the front. Corey Robbins is out now, suffering too much damage. Oh, and Carson, a little bit hard on the brakes, locks it up. Not able to make that move on Lion the Red Eel. JP May back here in 6th, about 7 seconds back. Things are starting to settle a little bit now, folks. Just trying to survive this race, I think. The first lap melee may be a little bit much for people. We're just trying to make it through the day. Perez bouncing over the curbs. Oh, and we got a car off there. Is that Bray sliding wide into the wall? See if we can get the overhead view, which seems to work well for these shots. JP May with his fastest lap of the race at 1:32. Alan Morales is off. Morales there off, coming to the front straight. He'll lose out there in his battle with Perez. Grewal, oh, Grewal losing it. He'll be out of 5th place, I think. So May will inherit that. This race is just bonkers. These cars and this track are a challenge. We're right on board now with Bray, who has just inherited 8th place. Oh, Dave Martin is falling out of 2nd. Going slowly down the backstretch. Seems to have gathered it back up, but he's lost 2 positions there to Carson and Lion the Red Eel. We now have 2 leaders on the podium at the moment. Now a flashback to this battle for 6 between Perez, Foucher, and Bray. This will have... this race, as it stands now, will have major championship implications. Peter O'Brien sitting back in 12th place. Carson Schultz up into 2nd now. So they will trade positions in the championship as we see Foucher bouncing off the wall, just trying to get around this track. Such a challenge. And these tires, I think everybody pretty much is running the hard compound, but even so. Oh, and we have Perez sliding wide, not able to slow down for the corner, and we're going to go 3 wide down the front stretch. Faucher in the middle, but Bray up the inside. He's going to have the preferred line into turn 1. Faucher just trying to hold on there. He does. Tucks in behind Bray. And the two of them head down to turn 2. Looks like Bray's going to hold on to it, but Faucher goes wide into the wall. Perez inherits 7th again. Grewal slips through. Faucher all the way down to 10th, and Peter O'Brien, who we were just talking about at the back of the pack, has suddenly come back to the top 10. He's now in 9th place, just tiptoeing around, trying to get this car to the end. It's going to be a challenge. We've still not reached the halfway point, and the action continues. Thoroughly unimpressed. Well, it's open-wheel cars at close quarters. Owen Grewal off again. Having trouble with this car. He's now falling back. Morales also a minute back on the timing chart. Walter has fallen a lap down in the pits, as has DJ Harris. But leader now out to an 8-second lead over Carson Schultz, who looks like he will gain in the championship, but let's see. Peter O'Brien trying to catch him now. He's got Perez in his sights ahead. Oh, May is off. JP May is off, loses position to Bray. May have been battling with Dave Martin there. 139 for Martin, 130 for Bray. These lap times are all over the place. A 128.4 for O'Brien. He is coming back up through the field. Perez and May now battling for position. May had one of the slower qualifying, or one of the slower practice times, but he has simply survived. And now he finds himself up in 6th place, trying to hold on. Perez looking for a move up the inside. O'Brien waiting to see how this turns out. Perez not able to hold the line on the inside of the track. And now O'Brien to look to the inside of the next corner, trying to make something stick. Side by side over the crest and down the hill. O'Brien ahead by a nose, but he finds himself on the outside. Leaves room for Perez, who gives him the place. An actual clean battle, folks. How about that? Oh, pit lane starts for the next race. That seems fine. It looks like a lot of people were just misjudging some breakpoints and misjudging proximity in the first few attempts. The practice starts, we'll call them. Obviously, we had only one real start to this race. The others were just for show. Oh, and we have a car off. Who is that? That's Bray falling out of the lead. Or not the lead, but the top 4. He's going to watch the rest of the field drive by. And May losing out to O'Brien by a nose. O'Brien still charging back up through the field after losing out in the opening laps. This battle between O'Brien, May, and Perez is sort of stabilizing into one that we're going to have to watch pretty closely here. As leader is stretching out an interval on Schultz, who is also stretching out on Lion the Red Eel. Could we have an all-in-the-family podium here? Bray off again. He has pitted. We have 3 people who have dumped out of the server. Chima, Corey Robbins, and Luke Baumeister. That's going to have some pretty interesting championship implications as well. As we go back to this battle, we have Peter O'Brien now stretching out an interval over JP May, and Ramiro Perez will go on board with Perez as he tries to catch and overtake May. His pace in qualifying would indicate that he should be able to if he can keep it on the track. May goes wide. Perez sends it up the inside. Very safe maneuver. Through the chicane, leaving room for May, who seems to concede the place and tuck in for some draft. Oh, but May loses it through the chicane. A little bit too much curve. Perez able to hold on and maintain 6th. May just getting back underway. Faucher gets through for 7th. This is quite the race. O'Brien around, trying a little bit hard, maybe scorched the tires a little bit. Oh, and JP May trying to take the place back. Also spins coming out into the front straight. This is quite the race. Well, we've had a comedy of errors just getting this stream going earlier tonight, and it seems that the racing action may be of the same flavor. These are incredibly tough cars on a very tight and twisty track. Not one that a lot of folks who are usual players of Assetto Corsa might be accustomed to. This is a Gran Turismo track, usually. Maybe one that a lot of folks just simply don't know very well. As we ride along with Grewal, who is perhaps just trying to limp this car home after several contacts with the wall. Going around May here, who concedes the place. Grewal with good pace early on. He's trying to salvage a little bit of that. But good racecraft with wounded cars between the two of these guys, just making sure that the pass is made safely at this point. That's kind of all I can hope for. Yes, join the Discord. Let's see. Carson Schultz somehow has also survived. He was involved in some spinny action early on in the first few laps, but doesn't seem to have suffered as much damage as the other drivers and other cars. He now sits... Oh, hello. Yeah. He now sits in second as we ride along. My cat's saying hello. Hello. Meow. I thought that was engine noise for a second. I looked down, there was a cat in my elbow. Meow. Peter O'Brien still trying to make up some positions. Oh, and Grewal is off again, it looks like. Yep, he's had another spin. Surrenders that. He'll have to make that position on May again in the laps to come. Hey. Hey. I'm doing a race right now. My cat is very insistent. O'Brien back to the rear wing of Foucher, who, in spite of everything that's happened, would very much like to maintain this place. Carson Schultz, fastest lap with a 1:28.3. So, doesn't look like his car is damaged very much because he's setting some very good times now. Some quali pace times coming out of the leaders now. We'll watch, oh, and Grewal is off again. Peter O'Brien gets the place, but is now on the outside for this corner. He still leaves room, and makes it stick. Thatcher not going to contest that too hard. O'Brien up to 6th. So this means that Peter O'Brien has made up just a few more points in the standings if things were to finish as they are now. He's got clear track ahead of him. James Leader now towards the end of this lap. Going through the tunnel turn. He's now going to be dealing with traffic in the next few laps, but there's only 3 minutes 40 seconds to go. So perhaps 1 or 2 more laps left in the race. And then we'll reverse the grid and try it all again. Let's just ride along with James as he seems to be having the best time of trying to get around to this beautiful course. Down to 3rd for the hairpin and then over the crest. Into the grandstand section. We have smoke bombs going off already. It's not the finish of the race, people. May into the pits. He may have suffered a bit too much damage. Over another crest and down the hill. Hard braking zone, 6th down to 2nd. Can't take too much curb here. You get launched into the wall. Through these S's. Very Monaco-like. Like the Marina section of Monaco. You have that nice little D chicane and then through the tower or the tunnel turn. His lead, by the way, down to 3 seconds as Carson seems to be closing. James, the leader, crosses the line with 2 minutes to go, or just under. Loses another half second to Schultz. So let's take a look. You see there in the top of the screen, Schultz just appearing. We should have this lap and another to finish out race 1. We'll ride along with Carson here. And he's got James Leader in his sights now. If he can maintain his pace and keep it on the black stuff, we could see a battle for the win in the waning moments of this race. 27.9 there for Peter O'Brien on the timing chart. He's still trying to make up some positions. He doesn't want to lose out to Carson, but so much in this championship fight. Third place in the championship, rather. DJ Harris, mired in the back, 8 laps down. He has given up on this one and will take his spot near the front of the grid in the next race to try and make up some points there. Carson with reckless abandon through the S's. Still just over 3 seconds behind. You see James taking it around the corner there. And back onto the front straight again. Carson, the big opposite lock moment. 28.9 for leader, 28.6. He's still making up time, but he's going to have a much bigger piece of luck go his way if he wants to make up 3 seconds on what appears to be the final lap of this race. Oh, and he goes wide there. Pushing a bit too hard, loses out a bit of time. They'll be catching Grewal here towards the end of the lap, I think. Leader's gap up to 4 seconds now. Looks like Schultz is pushing just a little bit too hard and has lost the time he would have gained. 129 for O'Brien. He seems also to be settling into his position, trying not to bin the car at this point. We'll ride along with leader as he comes towards the end of the lap. Through the Marina chicane. Into the tunnel turn for the final time. And on to the front straight. There is your winner, James Leader. Winner and survivor of race 1. Carson Schultz across for P2. Lion the Red Eel. Oh, in the last lap incident with Morales, who had also spun, who got in the way. Dave Martin also hits Morales, who's broadside across the track. And was that O'Brien also unable to avoid? I think, no, that was Bray. O'Brien makes it through. What happened to Martin and Lion the Red Eel? He's going to limp across, maintain third, but Martin, in a bad way, trying to get back to the start line. Perez hot on his heels. What a bizarre finish. No reverse grid for race 2. All right, then. Morales ended up broadside across the track and took out 3 of the top 4 in a bizarre last lap incident. We'll catch up now with the folks just making it to the finish. We have Bray and Grewal, the last 2 on the lead lap. Bray will bring it home in 8th. And Grewal in 9th to finish the race. Well, that was a wild one. Let's see in the waning moments of this one. I'm going to see if I can grab a couple of people to talk to them. Let's talk to our podium, if we can. Let's see. We're gonna get some folks into the commentators booth. Good evening, gentlemen. We have James Leader and Carson Schultz in the broadcast booth. How you guys doing? You seem to have survived.
Yeah, doing pretty well.
Doing good.
So we had a couple of, shall we say, show starts just for the fans, and then we got into the real race session. How did that go at the start of the race? Carson, I think you had some contact and managed to basically survive back up through the field and regain P2. Talk us through it.
Well, Luke didn't have the lights on the start, so he didn't get going, and I turned the wheel as much as possible to not hit him, but I still hit him, and then we all spun out. And then my tires were red from spinning out, and then I spun in turn 2 and took like 3 other guys with me. So I had a lot of damage, but I just kind of went as fast as possible and somehow got back up to P2.
Well, for having a damaged car, it seemed to have handled it very well and just kind of kept it on the black stuff from there on, despite the early difficulties. James, you found yourself in the lead very early, and likewise were able to just kind of maintain. How'd that go from your perspective?
Yeah, funnily enough, all 3 of the race starts started out pretty well. Race 2, after the first chicane, I did get hit, but the first couple of corners of all the race starts, I picked up a good few positions. So, yeah, this start was no different. Carson and Luke just sort of disappeared right at the start, so I picked up a couple there. And then Peter had a very spectacular wreck right in front of me coming out of the chicane around lap 2 or 3, I think.
Yeah, I saw that little helicopter maneuver over. Thank goodness for the halo, right?
Yeah. So I survived that, and then just took over first place. A couple people, I think, spun behind me in the next few laps. I opened up my gap, and then Carson got through, and the rest of the race was just trying to be quick enough to keep him behind. He was gaining a good half second a lap.
Yeah, it was a good, showing some good pace there. I'm also going to drag in. I do see our third place finisher in the chat, so I'm going to drag him in. Lion versus the Red Eel. Welcome, a podium finish in race 1. How'd you get there? Hello. I see he's the strong, silent type. No problem. All right, well done, everybody. This was a challenging race. I'm going to throw you guys back to the voice chat because we're about to get ready for race 2. Thanks, and good luck.
Good luck to you in the commentators booth.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. There they go. Here I go. I need to warp myself to the pits. Boop. And we are going to reset to the front of this field. See if I can get the right scene on. Nope, that's the wrong one. That's the wrong one. That's the right one. Whew. Streaming. All right, race 2 start. Here we go. It's all to play for here. Leader and Schultz on the front row. Lion the Red Eel, and Dave Martin on row 2, and away they go. Leader and Schultz down to turn 1. Schultz going for it. Lion the Red Eel conceding to Martin, who, whoa, maybe not. Yeah, Martin makes it through. Looks like Bray gets through on the outside. Grewal tucking in behind Lion. Tucking in a bit too close. Grewal takes out Lion the Red Eel and a couple of others. Who is that? That's O'Brien stuck in the back, and he's tangled up with... Who was that? That was Foucher, I believe. Lion the Red Eel enjoying his success early in the race. Taken out in this one. Grewal leading to some deaths. Oh, somebody, I think, just warped away, and oh no! Leader tagged by Martin, it looks like. Maybe had some VR difficulties, but Leader now taken out by the slow Martin. who now goes back through. What a bizarre start to this one. Carson Schultz driving away with it. He's in front of the chaos. May also with a spin. Leader has gone through on him. Well, race 2 seems no different from race 1, but we have Carson Schultz, a bit cleaner car, a bit cleaner start, and he is driving away 1.7 seconds to the good of Jeffrey Bray, who has come out of this one in second place at the end of lap 1. DJ Harris, who had an abysmal start last time, now finds himself in the third podium spot. Morales slow on the front straight. He's got Walter behind. Leader dealing with some damage. Foucher in front, but Leader goes to the inside of turn 1. Morales and Walter changing positions. Leader through on Foucher. And we have Dave Martin also trying to get through as Grewal goes off again. Perhaps taking Perez with him. Grewal having a disastrous night. Walter also losing out to Morales. Oh my goodness. And Martin's off and gets hit again by Perez. Martin perhaps having some VR problems or just a bit too much damage at this point. But he is all over the place. Perez also looks like a little bit laggy. Oh, and Morales is off. Morales in the oil company silver and copper car. Now falls to the back. Perez also off again. Lion the Radio has rejoined the race at the back. Might as well warp when it's lap 1. See if he can make up the time. Warp to a new car. Foucher now trying to come back on Peter O'Brien. Or perhaps O'Brien has just made that move. Well, Dave may have been stopping to restart the race and just bottled up the entire track. Oh no. This is a very sketchy car and track combination. I don't even know where to begin talking about this stuff. Carson Schultz just trying to drive away. He's got this one in the bag so far if he can maintain his composure. Walter into the pits at the end of a 148 lap. Perez also with a 148. He looks like he's either going to repair it or park it. Martin off again. Or no, he's not off. He's just being passed by Grewal, who makes a clean move this time. Takes it through, but Martin is not done yet. Walter still in the pits. Lion the Radio making positions. Oh, somebody's off behind. That's May. Heard the tires in the sand. Knew that a car had gone off. We'll go on board with Perez, who is trying now to take that position. Not quite close enough. We'll leap up a couple of places to Martin, who's chasing Grewal. Not quite close enough. Martin now certainly dealing with some damage to practically every sector of the car. Oh, and going deep into the hairpin. Those tires have to be roasty. Lion the Radio with a spin at the back. He may do well just to sort of maintain a modest pace and just see if he can survive. 129.7 for Leader. That's his fastest lap of this race. O'Brien with a 128. Foucher with a 131. Grewal crossing with a 130.0. Walter has now given up on his damage. Is unfortunate. Carson Schultz continuing to lead, but not pulling away by too much over Jeffrey Bray, who maintains his hold on second. DJ Harris still on the last step of the podium, but Leader now, despite what must be a fairly damaged car, trying to make up time and get back on terms with the front runners. O'Brien also giving chase. This appears to be the closest interval on track right now. Although Grewal now making up time on Foucher as well. Everybody's spaced out by about 3 seconds at this point. That's some stern words from the stewarding team, no kidding. We'll have a lot to talk about in the post-race replays. Peter O'Brien leaping over the curbs through the chicane into the tunnel turn. Now less than 2 seconds back from leader. Whatever damage Peter O'Brien's car has suffered so far in the race, it seems to be less than what James Leader is dealing with, who is now a second and a half ahead only. 28.5 for O'Brien. That's the fastest lap of the race so far. Foucher is off. Grewal is through. He has spun entering the front straight. Perez goes through for 8th. Dave Martin setting his best lap with a 1:30. Bray now 3.1 seconds back from Schultz, but a comfortable 9 seconds ahead of Harris. Peter O'Brien still trying to make up the time on leader. That's James Leader, not the leader. This gap is coming down. We'll ride on board with O'Brien. Smoothly taking those uphill S's. Winding out that 5th gear, trying to keep the horsepower up to get up that hill. Very similar to the Sector 1 S's at Watkins Glen, perhaps, or the uphill S's VIR. Just flat out count on the downforce and survive. Now through the marina section. Oh, a wild trip over the bumps, but he makes it stick. Carson Schultz from the lead of the race. What has happened to Carson Schultz? From the lead of the race, he's now falling back. What in the world? The timing screen must be faulty, because he's still in the lead. Has he missed a timing sector? He's definitely ahead on the track. O'Brien has gone through on leader, or is going through on leader. He makes it stick. Schultz, for some reason, falling down the timing tower. I wonder if he missed a sector line and is not getting this lap counted. That would be bizarre. Maybe just a bug in the timing, but for now, he's definitely in the lead on track. But is not being shown as being counted for. Let's see what happens when he crosses the line. This may simply be a timing glitch. Hopefully it's not going to affect. Oh no, and he hits the wall. Oh my, that's not going to help. And he's pitted. Carson Schultz has pitted and dumped out of the race. Oh my goodness. How the fortunes have turned. The leader of the race, Carson Schultz, dumping out. We'll go on board with Bray now, who has inherited the lead of this race with a 10.9 second interval on DJ Harris. What a massive turn of events. Carson Schultz, who gains spots on Peter O'Brien in the championship in race 1, will now lose out massively in race 2, assuming that Peter can hold on to it. We're just now coming up to the halfway point. Jeffrey Bray now 11.1 seconds to the good of DJ Harris. Peter O'Brien. Oh, we see smoke ahead. Harris having some trouble in those S's. O'Brien winding his way through smoothly. He's gunning for second place. He wants to get back in the lead of this championship. And with a second place finish and Carson Schultz sitting in the pits with a broken car, he just might do it. James Leader now falling back in O'Brien's mirrors. These top 4 now with a 15-second gap back to 5th place, who is Grewal. Dave Martin giving chase there, trying to snag a top 5 out of all this. Martin's got to be suffering some rear and right side damage after incidents early on, stopping perhaps, as Luke suspects, to restart the race, but then deciding the better of it. Now under a second off the rear wing of Grewal. And we have O'Brien up to Harris and through. Harris seems to have simply conceded the place, or maybe had an off. But O'Brien now into second, and that will give him a healthy points advantage over Schultz, who had a good finish in race 1, but will now suffer a DNF in race 2. Oh, excuse me. We'll go back to the battle for 5th. Martin continues to close on Grewal. Through the hairpin leading onto the front straight. Grewal able to get the exit, hold on to that gap. Sets Martin, though, sets his fastest lap of the race, but has lost some time to the pink and white car ahead. We'll keep an eye on this battle. Foucher setting his best lap of the race at a 1:30, but he's 10 seconds apart from either car on either side. Martin going wide there, trying perhaps a little bit too hard to close this gap on Grewal for 5th. Grewal also goes wide there. DJ Harris falling back behind O'Brien, but not by too much. Just trying to keep it on the track. O'Brien still pushing hard. He still smells a win. He's 12 seconds back from Jeffrey Bray, who's just holding on to this thing. Look at the leaps over the curbs through the Marina chicane. It looks like the Marina at Monaco. That's what I'm going to keep calling it. Through the hairpin onto the front straight for O'Brien. We'll see what his time is when he crosses the line. 1:27.9, now setting qualifying times with a damaged car in race 2. He's going for it, folks. Leader making up time on Harris. Oh boy, it's getting late, folks. Sorry about that. Perez now has caught up to Martin, who seems to have fallen off the pace of Grewal, who has just set a 1:29. Yes, a 1:32 for Martin. He must have had a mishap there on that lap, trying a little bit too hard perhaps to catch Grewal, and now Perez is right with him. We'll watch this battle from overhead. And Grewal is off. Grewal is off again, and this battle goes by. Well, Martin has made the pass on Grewal, not maybe the way he wanted to or thought he would, but things work out sometimes. Grewal, karma comes back to you. Falls to 7th place. James Leader still not losing touch. Oh, well, I just commentator cursed him. He wasn't losing touch with DJ Harris, but has now gone off. Morelas, a lap down, passes him. Grewal off again, and Foucher goes through. Grewal struggling just to get it back on the track. Meanwhile, this battle between Perez and Martin has not cooled down. Martin just holding on to what must be a very damaged car. We've got 6 minutes to go, which amounts to probably 4 or 5 laps, depending on where Bray crosses the line. Peter O'Brien has taken some time out of that lead, but still sits 10.5 seconds back. As we continue to watch the closest battle on track right now, 29.9 for Martin and a 30.5 for Perez. So Martin stretching that out just a little bit. Grewal has gone off again in a battle with May, and looks like he's parking it. Yep, he is out of this race. He will fall to 11th as the field goes by. A series of unfortunate events for Grewal leads him to park it. And then there were 10. O'Brien has now taken the gap to Bray down under 10 seconds, and the time continues to melt away. 5 minutes to go in this one. Perez still trying to catch Martin. He would love to get a top 5. In terms of points, Martin and Perez are together in 7th and 8th in the championship. Martin 2 points to the good of Perez. If he can make this pass, the Argentinian will pull ahead in the championship, or perhaps tie with Dave Martin, our fearless leader. So this has definite series implications. So we'll continue to watch this battle now under half a second as Martin seems to struggle a little bit coming through the hairpin onto the front straight again. 130.2 for Martin to 130.0, so the gap closes by 0.2 again. The concertina effect back and forth between these two. Just trying to bring it home, but also bring home a couple more points. Lion the Radial now going a lap down to Jeffrey Bray, who continues to circulate in the lead, but only 8 seconds from Peter O'Brien. trying his best. He's only got 4 minutes to go now. Not sure if he can make up 2 seconds a lap, but he's going to try. JP May setting his best lap of the race in the back of the pack. So time's still melting off for some of these guys. Fearless leader, exactly. Maybe not so fearless after the events of this race. I'll tell you what. Perez perhaps burned up his tires. He's now a 1.5 seconds back from Martin. Oh, man. There has been way too much to talk about in this race. Perez contacting the wall again, and Harris is off. James Leader goes through for another podium position. That was very sudden. 7 seconds off for Harris. Means that James Leader has gone through for third. And now Peter O'Brien, very uncontested in second. Dave Martin says his best lap of the race to get away from Perez. He's now about 1.5 seconds good. Dave fears no man, but race server settings, yeah, those are scary. Perez going wide there using all of the curb, but that's not the fast way around. Leader still getting ahead of Harris, who seems to have recovered nicely. He may yet make up this difference. And, oh, O'Brien is off, trying a little bit too hard. That aggressive line over the curbs in the chicane finally came back to bite him. Oh, what a tragedy for Peter O'Brien, who was making up time just down to 7 seconds and change on Bray, who has just set his fastest lap of the race at a 1:28. Oh, well, it looks like it was going to be an exciting race to the finish, but now Bray has crossed the line. We will get this lap and one more, it seems, out of Jeffrey Bray before it's all over. The gap between Harris, widening with another spin. I was just going to say, Leader was doing well to widen that gap, but apparently DJ helping him out in that task. Dave Martin now catching up to Harris. This is going to turn into a battle for 4th place. What luck for Dave Martin, who found himself at the back with a broken car and is now at the front with a broken car, surrounded by people whose cars are just as bad off. Perez now still catching. Martin goes wide in the S's. Perez does as well. Harris's luck has gone from bad to meh, as Martin not able to close on him there. We go to Bray, who's going through the tunnel turn and towards the hairpin, leading onto the front straight for the final time, or the final white flag lap. Blah, 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 blah. Me no talk good. So there it is, white flag for Jeffrey Bray, who just has the 1 lap to go. Peter O'Brien, 18 seconds back after a valiant effort to whittle that lead down to under 8 seconds, but it was not to be. A little bit too aggressive over the curbs through the chicane, which is where Dave Martin is now trying to catch Harris. They are now a second apart. This appears to be the closest battle on track. A 1:28.8 from James Leader. Good enough to close on O'Brien a bit, but not enough at the end of this race. Bray still circulating, 18 seconds ahead. Harris trying to stay ahead of Dave Martin. Perez losing time behind them. Bray just bringing it home. He knows he has it in hand if he can just keep it on the black stuff. Lead almost out to 19 seconds now. Coming down to the marina section. Over the curbs just as aggressively as O'Brien. Makes it stick. 19 seconds to the good now. We're going to have to flip back to this battle between Harris and Martin because it appears to be getting spicy as Bray goes through that hairpin now for the final time and up the hill through the dogleg left and towards the checkered flag for Jeffrey Bray, who wins race 2 at Dragon Trail. Peter O'Brien coming home up the hill. Oh, what's this? Harris has lost out to Martin at the end of the race. But O'Brien, he was just slowing for the hairpin. Seems to be limping it home, but makes it in second. James Leader up the hill through the dogleg to bring it home for another podium. A win and a third place for James Leader. That will vault him up the standings in the championship. Dave Martin now. And Harris continuing to spin at the back. But Dave Martin now finds himself in fourth. He survived that battle with Harris and brings home a fourth. Perez surprising himself with a top 5. Foucher bringing it home in sixth after some early contact. And Harris, a wild final lap. He began in fourth place, but will drag himself home in seventh. a final immolation there as he crosses the line. JP now the last car on track, I believe, going through the dogleg left and bringing it to a close in 8th place. That is your finish for race 2. It's that was something. That was quite the session. Let's see who's out there. Let's go back to the broadcast trailer. See if we can drag some folks in here to talk about that race. I see several people have also given up on voice chat. But we're going to see what we can do here. I definitely want to try and get our finishers. Let's see if we can get Mr. Bray in here. And we'll drag James back in as well. Jeffrey Bray, our winner of race 2. Congratulations, sir. What adventures led you to the front of this one?
That lap 1 was something else.
It sure was.
Yeah. I'm really surprised I didn't die in it, and then also Dave giving me a free position right away, that was cool. Just not dying on lap 1, and then Carson dying in front of me, and I could just do my own pace, basically.
Yeah, talk us through that incident with I'm not sure if it was an incident with Carson or just what happened to him. Did he just send it wide at one of the corners or over a curb, or what happened there?
Yeah, on the exit of the chicane, he went wide, and as soon as he touched the wall, it just pulled him in, and he got stuck in it. So.
Oh man, that
and
is
then he
awful.
got TP'd to the pits a lap down, and so he just left after that.
Oof. I saw a lot of people taking some very aggressive lines over those curbs in the chicane, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. But he seemed to be pretty smooth out there, and this is another one of those cases where you just keep it on the black stuff and see how it turns out, and it turned out well for you. Well done.
Yeah, thank you. After race 1, I was like, yeah, I really need to just focus on not crashing, and I didn't, and there you go.
It all works out. Good stuff. Mr. Leader, 2 races, 2 podium finishes. That's a night well done.
Yeah, I feel like I got pretty lucky with other people's incidents. Lap 1 was very interesting. I was going around the outside of Carson, went wide on my own, and just clipped a curb and got launched. Rejoined, instantly caught up in another incident, back to P11. And then in the next lap, I ended up back in P4 because everyone else in front of me crashed again. I'm like, all right, well, back here again. Then, yeah, Peter was complaining the whole time about how his car was so damaged and he couldn't take any of the high-speed corners flat while setting fastest laps of the race and passing everybody.
Right.
So that was fun.
As you do.
So, yeah, a couple of trading positions back and forth, but ended up in P3 just focused on keeping it on the track. After those first couple of incidents, I had a little another couple of issues where I accidentally downshifted to first in the hairpin and nearly lost it.
Oof.
Lost a few seconds there, but nothing too major. Didn't pick up too much damage and just kept it on the track, kept taking off laps.
Well, it got the job done. Again, another night where just seeing the checkered flag is enough to get you there. So well done, gentlemen. And I'm gonna kick you back to the regular chat.
All right, thank you.
Let's see if who's still available. I'm gonna drag everybody I can. We're gonna get Dave and Carson in here with very different perspectives on these races. Hello, gentlemen. So I guess I'll go to Carson first. What a roller coaster night for you! An amazing finish in race 1 and heartbreak in race 2. A meeting with Barry R seems to have ended prematurely.
Yeah, I hit the wall and the physics engine died, and I got stuck in the wall, and it put me a lap down, and then there's no point.
Well, you had the pace, but unfortunately, it just didn't work out in race 2. And just the warping back to pits and losing that lap is a bit too much to bear. You had a good finish in race 1 that'll help out in the championship, but Peter working back up in race 2. Haven't crunched the numbers quite yet, but how do you feel this sets you up for the rest of the season?
Well, I mean, I feel like I'm probably one of the fastest guys, but I feel like the rest of the season, Peter and Luke are still faster than me. I just have to hope that they make more mistakes, because, I mean, they both had not clean races each time, so capitalize on that, I guess.
Yeah, well, Luke actually got kind of murdered in race 1 and did not return, so that'll help the interval there. But I think you and Peter will still be pretty neck and neck, so it'll be a good battle to watch for the rest of the season for sure.
Yeah.
And condolences for the outcome of race 2, but congrats for the outcome of race 1, because that was some fantastic pace and some great driving.
Thanks, Pasha.
Mr. Martin, our fearless leader, also a bit of an up and down evening for you. Race 2 seemed to have a point where the car just kind of stopped on track. Was that mechanical difficulty, or what was going on there?
Stopped on track.
Sort of early on in the race.
Oh, I'm talking about it in a corner. I want to say it was Ramira or Lion behind me. That one.
Yeah, it seemed like the folks behind you found a slow-moving Martin and just kind of plowed in the back of you.
I was too wide going into the corner, so I was slowing it down on the apex, taking the corner slower to block the exit, and yeah, just I mean, I think it was Lion behind me that time, and it just didn't work out. I don't think I necessarily did anything wrong. I might have. I need to go check the VOD, but it just looked like a mistake. He didn't expect me to take it that slow, and he was at a point where he was going too fast, and I was trying to make a tactical block, and just two people going for two different things in one corner, and just didn't work out.
Yeah, well, this seemed to be a car and track combo that was a big challenge for a whole lot of people. How do you think this makes the rest of the season look in terms of level of difficulty?
Well, all the other tracks I think are relatively easy, and they have a lot of all the other tracks have a lot of passing opportunities. They're not anywhere near as tight as Dragon Trail. I don't really know what happened with Dragon Trail. I was telling Carson, I don't think I touched anyone throughout any of the races. I don't know where all the crashes came from. I knew spins were going to happen just because F3 cars are difficult in general. I just think open wheel cars are difficult, but I don't know where all the crashing came from. It was at weird spots too.
Yeah, well, the opening sector in both races did seem to be a bit of a trouble spot, but there was a lot of going wide, a lot of walls sneaking up on people, a lot of aggressive lines going over curbs and not working out every time. But I think we'll take it all as a learning experience, and we'll see what comes out in the replays and the chat over the next few days, and I'm sure we'll work it out for next week. But thanks for putting on another great event, and not only the race but also the broadcast took 3 tries to get it right, but it seems like we're in business now. So thanks for the opportunity to bring it to the people this evening.
I'm looking forward to NOLA because NOLA is a really fun track and should be a good time. So I think NOLA next week will actually be really good and hopefully a nice refreshing change from Dragon Trail.
Looking forward to it. Thanks again to both of you, Carson and Dave. Better luck next week. And
Thank you.
Enjoy.
Thanks.
I'm going to take back the commentator's booth here. Oops.
Oh, wait, I'm back?
I just moved you right back in here. Sorry. Me clumsy. All right, let's take a look at this replay. Unfortunately, I only have race 2, but we'll take a look at some replays here of the start of the race and try and figure out what in the world was going on here. Let's take it from, let's see, who would be a good car? Let's see. Grewal seemed to be in on the action a bit, so let's take it from his car. Lights on and lights out. Seemed like a pretty decent start on the front stretch. Not too. Oh, hello. There we go. There's the first of the miscalculations. We'll take a look at who that was. That is the 2 Red Bull cars getting together. That would be driver names on supposedly, but not really. We'll get that stuff out of the way. This is Peter O'Brien and Jeffrey Bray getting together. So let's try and see what happens here. Looks like just not enough asphalt here. Ah, I see. So, line the radial on the outside, turning in for the corner. I think Peter just sort of ran out of room and tried to turn with him rather than conceding the place. Didn't quite see Bray to the inside, and the 2 just get together. O'Brien bonks outside. Grewal with a big opportunist move makes it stick. But then just into the back of Lion the Red Eel there. We'll go into Grewal's car. And he just accelerates right into the back of the number 70 of Lion the Red Eel. And chaos ensues. We'll try to get an aerial shot of what happens in the aftermath. These 2 get together. It takes out Perez. It takes out O'Brien. That's, who is that in front? That's Foucher gets caught up in it. So, from a bit of a liberal application of throttle into the back of Lion the Red Eel, we have Grewal taking out 4 of arguably the front-running cars. Lion the Red Eel started in 3rd in this race, based on his podium finish in race 1. And, yeah, real unfortunate victim of this one is Foucher, who is just trying to get through this thing. We'll see his view coming through the S's. Those 2 get together, and he's just driving into the smoke. He's got nowhere to go. And just, I'll make it through come hell or high water. But yeah, so there's the turn 1K. Oh, and you still have, you also had Morales here. Now, he's been having network issues all evening. And he manages to get through this incident pretty well. Gets very lucky, turns inward. I think Perez may have tagged that incident as well, sent it away. Morales, very lucky to have made the right choice in making it around that lap 1 incident. Also, this is where James Leader goes off and rejoins. Oh, there's a little bit of a network lag from Morales. But he recovers nicely, and there's a bit more. Oh, this could have been treacherous. Oh, and another get-together here. Let's see. Oh, this is the incident that really did James Leader's evening in. Let's see what happened there. We've got Seth and James and Perez and Dave. Perez just... Oh, yeah, that's very strange. I think this was the one that we were wondering about. We've got Bray behind Martin. Martin goes very wide, loses out there, and just kind of parks it. And the whole pack has come up behind him. And got some smoke, some in-game smoke stuck on his tire there. But we'll see what happens here from Perez's perspective. You can see the battle ahead. Martin goes wide. Parks it on the apex, and Perez just drives right in the back of him. He was just kind of holding the racing line, but the racing line was occupado. These cars so on edge going through the corners, and he's got Leader and... Who was this behind them? He's got James Leader and Seth Walter breathing down his tailpipe, so he really didn't have anywhere to let off. And in the indecisiveness of trying to choose inside or outside, just kind of gets target fixation and has nowhere to go but into the back of Dave Martin's car. That unfortunately takes out James Leader as well, and the three of them have a meeting. Now these two get together. I think that's JP May getting sent into the wall with the battle with Morales and Walter. And, yeah, wow. That's a whole lot of unpleasantness there. This is still, by the way, still trying to finish out lap 1 of this race. So Carson has inherited the lead, and we'll see how long this lasts. It lasts for a good long while. Almost half the race. Oh, but now we've missed it. Let's see what happens to him here. Wide through the hairpin into the marina section. Into the first part of the chicane, over the curbs for the second part. Now this is... Oh, and he gets... Oh, he just got warped. He just got warped. That was very bizarre. But this was a line that we saw O'Brien and Leader and Bray and Carson all taking this same line over the curbs in the chicane, but this one time, not only did it not work out for Carson, but he got sent into the wall, and it may be that his view of this was different, but he just got warped, and suddenly Jeffrey Bray inherits the lead of the race. Well, we could probably go on all night reviewing more incidents, but I think for now, this is where we're going to leave off. The interviews are complete. The carnage has been reviewed. I'm sure Race Control will have plenty of conversations. He said he was stuck inside the wall. That's interesting because the replay shows him still moving. That's unfortunate for him, but I think we'll have a lot to talk about in the post-race chats as the week continues. But as far as this broadcast, I think that'll do it for us tonight. Come back later on. Not later on tonight, but let's find out next week at NOLA Motorsport Park. Same time, well, hopefully an earlier time, because then we'll have somebody who can actually get the broadcast to work the first time they hit stream. But same general time and same channels on YouTube and Twitch. Join us, subscribe to us, follow us, hit the like button, smashing optional, and we shall see you guys next time. Thanks for the opportunity. Thanks for the kind words, Don. I haven't done this one solo in a while, and I'm going to go have a nice hot toddy to heal my throat, and we'll see what happens in the next race. Thanks for watching. Tune in next time for more Plebian Racing. Good night, everybody.